This is Jason Tolbert, and I'm here with Congressman John Boozman, who just got the Republican nomination for the U.S. Senate this year. Congressman Boozman, tell me a little bit about how you plan to carry your momentum from the primary election going into the general election.
Well, what we're trying to do right now is really get organized in the sense of not really concentrating on the counties where the Republican vote would come from, but really now a statewide approach. And so we're getting our people in place. We're building the infrastructure that we need to go forward. And you know, we're blessed. There's so many people in Arkansas now that want to help us out. And so we're going to build a strong grassroots campaign to go forward.
Great. Well, you mentioned tonight one of the reasons you felt compelled to run for the Senate was the direction you saw the country heading. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we're in a situation where, as I said, I ran for the school board for my three girls to try and be helpful and supportive in that regard, with a quality school system. Now we're all under attack. It doesn't matter if you're a senior, if you're a businessman, or a youth. The stuff that's coming out of the White House is being rejected by the American people. The message and the messenger. So again, we just can't afford it. We can't afford a Democrat in that situation, in the sense when push comes to shove, they'll fold and then do what President Obama would have them do.
Sure. Well, right now, your opponent still isn't known. There's a runoff coming up. You spoke about that a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on both those two candidates.
I really don't know. It's so nice being able to sit back and see them beat each other up and spending lots of money, attacking each other. So it's going to be really interesting. I think, as always, voter turnout is going to play the key, and it just depends on who can get their vote out. It's very, very close in the general, and then again, where do the Morrison votes? Where do they fall? Do they go one side or the other, or do they just stay home?
I know you mentioned one of the candidates. You didn't mention him by name, but you said one of the candidates is wanting to go even further than President Obama went. Tell me a little bit about that. What was that about?
Well, I think there's a battle there between the left of Obama and then the left that doesn't feel like Obama is left enough. And so those are things that we'll talk about once we get into the campaign situation. Those are things that I'll be able to talk about in the case that perhaps they're not talking about because they're trying to vie for those votes.
What's the main issue? You mentioned that there's a lot more people wanting to get involved in politics this year. What's driving that?
I think it's just the uncertainty that's going on right now. It doesn't matter what business you're in. That business has probably changed more in the last 5 to 10 years. You're a great example of it. This didn't exist a few years ago. This technology, and the fact now that you're head to head, with the newspapers and this and that. You've got all these outlets. Well, the same is going on whether it's in banking. I'm an optometrist and eye doctor in the healthcare field, producing a lot of uncertainty. The average Arkansan now is very, very concerned about having a job. What they understand that we need real jobs, and you do that by getting in a situation where you help small business. You do that through tax cuts. You give them the ability to invest in their businesses rather than the stimulus type jobs that's pure government spending, and then as soon as the spending goes away, the job goes away.
All right, we appreciate your time tonight.